Thank you for the invitation and the opportunity to speak today. You know, there was a time when I first entered psychiatry, it would have been unimaginable as a psychiatrist to present to such an esteemed audience about physiological principles that lead to better understanding psychiatric disorders. But thanks to a lot of this new technology, and it's quite exciting and huge opportunity for us to use such a physiologically detailed machine to be able to better understand psychiatric disorders. And I'll explain what I mean by that through these slides. So most of you are familiar with the fact that the value add of MEG is to really understand the physiological properties, not only at the surface of the cortex, but really to understand physiology in deeper brain regions. And that's something that is has been elusive because electrophysiology is hard to ascertain in deep brain regions. Functional imaging, however, has also had a bit of a checkered trajectory in psychiatric disorders, in part because one of the holy grails of psychiatry is to really understand biological targets of treatment response. And functional neuroimaging with MRI has been challenging. And I really do think that MEG is one of the emerging techniques to be able to ascertain what treatment targets we need to better understand to both understand psychiatric conditions, but also to understand their treatment. So this is an example of really making sure that we can identify deep brain regions. Next slide, please. Not only identify them anatomically, but understand key physiological functioning through specific carrier frequencies. And so different frequencies of the MEG will allow us to better ascertain what regions of the brain are active, what regions of the brain are underactive, and how to tailor our treatment response. Next slide, please. This is just some work that, never want to miss an opportunity to showcase some of our own work. So this is work that we did with transcranial magnetic stimulation and EEG, which is also an emerging technology, but it's the inverse problem continues to hamper us. It continues to weigh us down. And what we're finding in these studies is an emerging target, which is subcortical, called the subgenual cingulate. And it's probably the most exciting biological target to better understand depression and to better understand treatments for depression. And so next slide, please. Through a technology like MEG, we're better able to reconcile the complex anatomy, the complex physiological signaling, and how that interacts with both the disease and how it better interacts with treatment interventions for severe psychiatric illnesses, including depression. So next slide, please. This is just a wrap up suggesting that MEG, we all know, has high temporal resolution, which is a huge advantage over technologies like MRI. MEG is far better at source localizing compared to EEG. And I do think that the future of these technologies will help immensely in getting closer to understanding both treatment targets, but also understanding the basic human biology that underlies severe psychiatric illness. Thank you. It's an exciting time. I really appreciate being here. And I hope for a greater involvement of the Department of Psychiatry in this. This is going to be a wonderful opportunity for us. Thanks, folks.